Ever wonder if your reality is an illusion? Not in a you're dreaming kind of way, but more like your perception of existence might be a frequency glitch. Sounds crazy, right? But hear me out. Everything you feel, face, or fail at was already designed by you, consciously or not. Your mind's already visited the life you crave, but you didn't stick around. You let that reality dissolve. Think about it. That amazing alternate life you picture when you're burnt out, broke, or just staring out the window, questioning your whole trajectory. You've already lived it. It's not metaphorical. The vivid, emotionally charged images you project are real, existing in your mind's frequency. The problem? You bail, like you made a mistake, letting that reality dissipate. That's where it all ends. When I started shifting gears, I was a firefighter in Toronto, drowning in debt, no degree, and rock-bottom self-esteem. I couldn't even see my potential. Then a guy gave me a book, Think and Grow Rich. It transported me. Suddenly I was thriving, respected, in control. The crazy part? It felt so real it hurt. I knew it was possible, yet my actual life was the exact opposite. Now consider, how many glimpses have you had? How many times have you envisioned quitting that soul-crushing job, owning that house, or simply feeling at peace? Why did those images fade? Fear, guilt, self-doubt? Most people dismiss these as fantasies, but they're not. They're invitations, signals, breadcrumbs from your subconscious. Science backs this up. In 2019, Stanford researchers published a study proving the brain's inability to distinguish intensely imagined experiences from real ones. So when you visit that place with emotion, clarity, and repetition, your body reacts as if it's already there. Your decisions change. Your language evolves, your opportunities multiply. But then the paradigm kicks in. Deep-seated beliefs. Money's tight, success is for the lucky, you need a fancy education. Start sabotaging your vision. How? Distracting you with bills, fear of judgment, the not now excuse. But that image, that place you visited, it wasn't random. It's a memory of your future, and you only need one thing, to refuse to let it vanish. Revisit that image daily, make it familiar. When you're exhausted, go back. When everything seems to fail, find refuge there. When your dreams are mocked, remember, they're trapped in a frequency where it's impossible, but you're not there anymore. For a long time, I doubted what I saw. I envisioned huge stages, massive audiences, sold-out seminars. But how? I was a broke firefighter with no degree. But the image persisted. Then one day I asked, what if I just refused to let this image go? That's when everything changed. If your mind can get there, your body can too. Try this. Tonight, before sleep, close your eyes and revisit that place. But stay for 5 minutes, not as a distant dream, but as something already yours. Repeat tomorrow and the next day. By holding that image long enough, the world will respond. Everything vibrates, everything's in motion, including you. You might be sitting still, but that's just visual perception. The truth is, your body, emotions, thoughts vibrate constantly, emitting a frequency that determines what you attract. It might seem mystical, but watch how your life, what you have, what you lack, the people around you, the bills, the unexpected, aligns with your daily frequency. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Many wake up with fear, worry, dread. What if I run out of money? Or what if this month fails? What frequency does that generate? Fear, anxiety, scarcity. The universe responds not to your desire for change, but to your consistent state. And what does it return? More of the same. Years ago, before my transformation, I woke up like that. Even with my cleaning business booming, packed with contracts, I felt constant unease. That whisper, will it all collapse? I was growing but vibrating at a frequency of fear. Result, missed opportunities from hesitation, self-sabotage at crucial moments. All because, despite appearances, my inner vibration was stuck in insecurity. Maybe that's you. You want more money, freedom, love, but feel doubt, guilt, fear, or resentment. Low frequencies that attract more of the same. Every thought, every emotion is a signal sent, and the return is proportional to its quality. Neuroscience confirms this. fMRI studies show the brain reacts differently when visualizing success with enthusiasm and conviction versus imagining negative scenarios or self-doubt. Body chemistry changes, hormones shift, decisions change. Most try to change reality with force, working harder, striving harder, trying to control the external when they need to change frequency. Ever tried listening to a radio station with unbearable static? The content is there, but the frequency is wrong. That's your goals. They're there, but while your mind vibrates with insecurity, you won't pick up the clarity and opportunities available. Notice how easy it is to connect with negative people when you're in a bad mood. How traffic seems worse on days you're late and angry. It's not bad luck, it's alignment with a frequency, and you can change that. Not overnight, but with repetition, intention, and awareness. Understanding this, I created small habits to shift my state. Upbeat music, power affirmations, inspiring videos, and most importantly, forcing myself to imagine what I wanted as real, even if it felt unreal. I knew it was just a matter of maintaining the frequency, of time for the world to respond. And it did. It started with a choice to stop reacting to the external and begin intentionally emitting the energy I wanted to receive. For the next 5 days, before anything else, choose the frequency you want to vibrate. It's not about constant positivity, but about taking control of your vibration. Breathe deeply. Imagine where you want to be. Feel the peace of already having arrived, and then get up. Notice how people react differently, how problems shift, how doors open where there were only walls before. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you vibrate, and your frequency is the key. Most people think they're thinking, but they're merely reacting. They aren't actually thinking, just letting thoughts drift in and out like leaves in the wind. These thoughts aren't even theirs. Energy constantly flows through our consciousness. Thoughts are everywhere, in the air, the environment, people. In a room of anxious people, you feel it. When someone is at peace, the atmosphere calms. That's vibration, frequency. Without awareness, you tune into these frequencies and accept others' thoughts. The human mind has inductive reasoning, the ability to grasp an idea and decide what to do with it. But nobody teaches us to use it. We accept everything as truth. Feel fear? Believe you're in danger. Think something will go wrong? Believe it's a sign. Rarely do we ask, where did this thought come from? Or does this thought help or sabotage me? You can choose your thoughts, shape them, create them. Those brilliant ideas that strike while driving or showering. We all have them. They come and go, but what do? Dismiss them, toss them, thinking, oh, that's just imagination. How many life-changing ideas did you discard before taking the first step? How many times did something inside you say, go? But you waited for the fear to go away because your paradigm, that invisible belief system, reacts instantly to keep you in your comfort zone. It's like a bodyguard for the old you, attacking any possibility of change. It's fast, making you doubt yourself in seconds because you never learned to observe your thoughts consciously. You never understood you could say, that thought isn't mine, I choose another. I remember early on, I was about to sign a contract that would multiply my income. Huge opportunity, but the night before, I was flooded with thoughts. You're unqualified, you're nobody, you'll fail. It paralyzed me, robbed me of sleep. I almost let the opportunity slip. But I asked myself, what if these thoughts aren't true? What if they're echoes from my past? I chose a new thought, acted on the belief I could grow. I signed, and my life was never the same. Ideas aren't scarce. Scarcity lives in your ability to embrace them, give them space, and let them grow. This requires attention, intention. Science says 95% of our thoughts are repetitive, and over 80% tend to be negative. That's not just a statistic, it's a reflection of most people's lives. Negative thinking vibrates negativity, attracts negativity, a closed loop until someone decides to break the pattern. You can be that person. From today, I challenge you to be the observer of your thoughts. For the next 3 days, every time a negative idea arises, stop, breathe, and ask, does this bring me closer to or further from what I want? If it distances you, discard it. You aren't obligated to accept everything that pops into your head. Your mind is fertile ground, but you're the gardener. You nurture what you choose to water. You have the power to create thoughts. Thoughts created with intention become ideas. Ideas sustained with faith become reality. You don't need to wait for the perfect idea, the right moment. It's all flowing through you. Now, the only question is, will you catch that thought or will you let it slip away again? The choice is yours. It always has been. Imagination isn't childish. It's your most potent force. It's the only place you can transcend reality. That's why it scares so many. Most use imagination against themselves. They imagine the worst, create scenarios of failure, rejection, abandonment. They anticipate loss, catastrophe, betrayal. The brain responds as if they're real. Hearts race, bodies tense, minds go into defense mode. They suffer for something that hasn't happened, but they've lived it as if it were true. If your imagination can create hell, what would happen if you used that same power to create your paradise? I learned this the hard way. Quitting my firefighting job, I had nothing, no degree, no safety net, just one image, a stage, hundreds of people saying, I changed my life because of what you said. It was as if I'd already lived it. I didn't know how I'd get there, but I saw it. When everything told me to stop, that it was crazy, the image kept returning. The more I connected with it, the more the world around me reorganized. The physical world is a reflection of the inner world, and imagination is the tool to shape that inner world. Your paradigm won't make it easy. Every time you imagine something grand, something that pulls you out of your comfort zone, that voice emerges. You don't deserve it. You're not capable. What if you fail? That's where most give up. They mistake this resistance as a sign to stop, when it's the opposite. Resistance is proof you're about to break an internal limit. Imagine someone running with a rope tied around them. When they accelerate, the rope tightens. But if they keep going, the rope breaks. Imagination is your momentum, and the paradigm is the rope. Many people retreat at the first tightening. They feel the discomfort and return to the familiar, the small, the predictable. But the key is to persist, to sustain the image even when everything screams, it's impossible. Your subconscious starts accepting the image as truth. When that happens, everything changes. You start thinking differently, feeling differently, acting differently, and that's when reality bends. Look at J.K. Rowling. She had nothing, a single mother living on welfare, rejected by publishers. But in her mind, Hogwarts existed. Harry Potter existed. She wasn't creating. She was transcribing what she already saw within. That lifted her out of poverty and placed her among history's wealthiest authors. Because she didn't let that image die, she didn't retreat when the world said no. She stayed connected to the vision. And you? What image lives within you, buried out of fear of judgment, failure, the unknown? What movie plays in your head when no one's looking, but you've never dared to claim as your own? The life you desire is already ready in the frequency of your imagination. What separates you from it is your ability to sustain that image with clarity and feeling. It's not about repeating empty phrases. It's about seeing, feeling, inhabiting that place with such intensity that it becomes more real than the reality around you. Neuroscience knows this. Research shows visualization activates the same brain regions as real action. It's as if the brain rehearses success before it happens. The more you rehearse, the more natural it becomes, the more likely it is to occur. Imagination isn't a gift for the few. You have it. And if you don't use it, someone will use it for you. The media will put images in your head. Social media will dictate what you should want. Others' opinions will invade your dreams, until one day you look in the mirror and wonder, how did I end up here? But there's still time, there always is. Starting today before sleep, close your eyes and imagine. Don't just imagine to imagine. Make it a ritual. See yourself living the life you desire in detail. Feel it. Breathe in that place. Speak to that version of yourself. And if it tells you it's possible, believe it. There's nothing more powerful than a mind that's decided to sustain an image until it becomes reality. Notice how, no matter how much you change cities, jobs, or relationships, some patterns repeat. It's like the same story with different characters insists on happening. That's not coincidence. It's a reflection. The world around you is the exact reflection of the image you carry within. Your reality is a mirror, and the mold that defines what appears there is you. It all starts with your self-image, not with what you want, but with what you believe you are. You might desire more money, but if you believe you don't deserve it or can't handle it, you'll keep pushing away any real possibility of prosperity, and it happens silently. You don't even realize you're sabotaging your own harvest. For years, I was trapped in this snare, even after ditching unstable gigs and starting my first business. A feeling of inadequacy persisted. I didn't see myself as successful, even though I acted and spoke like it. Any setback threw me back to the old image, the uneducated kid with no future, no value. Inevitably, things would crumble. It wasn't the outside world. It was a reflection of my own mind. The truth is, we don't attract what we desire, but what we are. And our essence is defined by the image we nurture in our minds. You can post inspirational messages daily, affirm your belief in abundance, carry self-help books, but if, alone, you perceive yourself as limited, confused, or lost, that's what the universe will reflect. The crucial point: we don't change reality by controlling the external, but by transforming our internal, seeing ourselves differently, treating ourselves differently, choosing a new identity. This decision, however symbolic, transforms everything. Recent research in behavioral psychology shows people who build a mental identity aligned with their goals are more likely to achieve them. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology revealed that when individuals begin to consider themselves healthy people or successful entrepreneurs, even before concrete results, their behavior adapts to this new image. They act in accordance with their beliefs. Now, answer honestly, how do you see yourself? What label do you carry silently? Insecure, disorganized, mediocre? Because that's what shapes your choices, determines who you relate to, where you work, how much you charge, accept, and receive. Look at Mike Tyson, one of history's greatest boxers. He achieved fame, fortune, titles, but never changed his self-image. Deep down, the marginalized kid persisted, carrying trauma, pain, and anger, which overwhelmed him, causing him to lose everything. Not for lack of talent, but because his inner identity didn't sustain his external success, and the reflection shattered. The question to ask is, which version of me is shaping my life? And also, is this version capable of sustaining the reality I desire? If the answer is no, you need to rewrite that identity. Yes, it's possible to rebuild your self-image based on who you choose to be, not on what you were told you were. Begin to see yourself as confident, determined, prosperous, loved and respected. When that image is clear and consolidated daily, the world will begin to adapt to it. Warning: the process isn't easy. It will conflict with everything you know. It will seem like you're deceiving yourself. You'll feel like an imposter, but that's natural. It's the old mold breaking. Persist, repeat, until the new mold becomes familiar, until thinking small seems strange, until doubting yourself is ridiculous. Genuine change begins by stopping asking, "What should I do?" and starting to ask, "Who do I need to be?" Results aren't created by willpower, but by identity, which is frequency, vibration, image. Want to change your life? Start seeing yourself differently now. Don't wait for permission from the world. It will only change after you modify the mold that creates it. Have you noticed how often the fear of failure outweighs the desire for success? As if, with every opportunity for growth, something paralyzes you, making you overanalyze, consider everything that could go wrong, transforming an exciting idea into a burden. And do you know the root of this? Your relationship with failure. People fear failure. They've been taught to see mistakes as shame, falls as weakness, failed attempts as worse than inaction. This shapes adults who live in the shadow of fear, not of losing, but of not appearing good enough. But there's something almost no one told you. Failure is a frequency of growth, part of the process, often the last stop before success. When I started my first business, I thought I had everything under control, but I went bankrupt before even growing. It could have been the end. I had reasons to quit. I didn't know enough. I lacked financial resources, and the hardest part, I didn't know anyone successful. Facing setbacks, instead of dodging failure, let's dive right in. Think of it not as an enemy, but a gym workout for your resilience. Maybe you're wrestling with a career change, a new business, or just trying to make ends meet and hitting roadblocks. It's easy to feel like you've been handed a life sentence, to let failure define you. But here's the truth. You're not defined by what happens to you, but by how you respond. That's the difference between quitting and conquering. Will Smith famously said his biggest breakthroughs came after seemingly catastrophic crashes. Fear, that invisible wall, it crumbles when you charge through it. The power of fear only exists until you confront it. Then it transforms into fuel, the rocket fuel of growth. Psychology shows that a growth mindset, saying "this taught me something" instead of "this is who I am," is the key to consistent success. Not because these people fail less, but because they fail better. They fall forward, using those stumbles as launch pads. They refuse to give up on themselves. So, you're feeling beaten down, thinking about throwing in the towel? Before you do, consider this. What if this is a test? A chance to prove your grit, to conquer your fears. For the next 7 days, reframe your mistakes. When things don't go as planned, instead of beating yourself up, ask, "What lesson is this trying to teach me?" Write it down, reflect, adjust your strategy, and most importantly, keep moving. That's where most people fall short. Persistence is what transforms setbacks into success stories. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to keep going, because failure is only the end if you choose to stop. You are the architect of your reality, abundance or scarcity. It's a reflection of your inner world, not luck or circumstance. It's about frequency, what you choose to believe, think, and feel each day. You now know this: there's no turning back. The next step, it's right there, in the video about to start. It's a small yet powerful step towards personal and mental growth. Thanks for joining me. Let's keep moving forward together. See you in the next video.